The Devi Mahatmyam Parayan will be continuing the third episode, which is meditation on MahaSaraswati. Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining the Devi Mahatmyam Parayan. Wishing you all a very happy Navratri. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswatai Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Wielding in her lotus hands the bell, trident, plowshare, conch, pestle, discus, bow, and arrow, her luster is like that of a moon shining in autumn sky. She is born from the body of Gauri and is the sustaining base of the three worlds. That MahaSaraswati I worship here, who destroyed Shumba and other Asuras. So today we'll be continuing the chapter 12 and 13. The goddess said, "Whoever with concentration praises me constantly with these lords, I shall without doubt put an end to all his troubles. Whoever extols my deeds relating to the destruction of Madhu and Kaitaba, the killing of Mahishasura, and likewise the slaughter of Shumba and Nishumba." So right now, all the demons have been killed by the great goddess, the Devi. And she has conquered the evil, right? She has conquered the victory. She has destroyed the evil and she's become victorious. And that is what means the greatness of this Devi. That is Mahatmyam. We are studying, we are learning about the greatness of this Devi who has all the power and is lauded by the gods in all the triple worlds. Whoever with one pointed mind listens with devotion to my glories sung in this Mahatmyam on the 8th, 14th and 9th days of the lunar fortnight. To them nothing bad happens, neither misfortunes arising out of bad happenings. No poverty is faced by them, nor separation from the near and dear ones. No fear comes to them from foes, robbers, or even from kings, neither from weapons, fire, and floods. Therefore, this my Mahatmyam, what does it mean? That is, the Devi's greatness should be recited by those of concentrated mind and listened to constantly with devotion. It is the sublime and supreme way to welfare. This Mahatmyam will alleviate all sufferings due to epidemic like smallpox as well as the threefold portents. I shall never leave the abode where this Mahatmyam is well recited constantly. My standing presence is there. When offerings are made in worship, in rituals with fire and on great festive occasions, this my Mahatmyam should be completely recited and listened to. She's actually describing now, she's explaining why it is so important to do the Devi Mahatmyam Parayan and to sing the praises of this great goddess. That is about her greatness, is what we are talking about. How great this Devi is. Please remember, this Devi is you. There is nobody outside of you. So you need to understand who you truly are. Get empowered with this knowledge. Cut asunder the ignorance and empower yourself to become this Devi. I shall accept with satisfaction the offering, the worship and the fire ritual thus done, whether so done knowingly or unknowingly. During the time of the great worship done in the autumnal season as well as in the beginning of the year, by hearing this my Mahatmyam will with devotion, man by my grace is released from all sufferings and acquires wealth and corn. There is no doubt. Listening to this my Mahatmyam, to the auspicious manifestations and to my prowess in battles, man becomes fearless. To the men who listen to my Mahatmyam, the enemies are destroyed and welfare is produced, their families rejoice. My Mahatmyam should be listened to in all alleviation rites, on seeing a bad dream and when great afflictions arise due to planetary positions. Troubles subside and also the terrific affliction of planets. The bad dreams seen by men turns out to be a good dream. It tranquilizes the effects of maladies in children caused by certain obsessions. It is the best means of re-establishing the links of friendship amongst men where there occurs a break in a relationships. It destroys most effectively the strength of evildoers without exceptions. Demons, goblins, and ghosts perish at the mere reading of this. Imagine how much of you know goodness can you obtain from just listening to the greatness, that is the Mahatmyam, the greatness of this Devi. And imagine if you do this recital yourself, how much good do you bring? And she's saying very beautifully that with devotion, when you worship me, when you praise me, when you talk about this Mahatmyam, when you praise the Lord, when you praise the glories and you laud the Devi, her greatness, then I will ensure that you are protected. There will be no dearth for wealth, food. There will be no miseries. There will be no sufferings. No health issues. Nobody can, do any harm to you. She's saying it destroys most effectively the strength of evildoers. What does it mean? Any demon who was trying to cause harm to you, the Devi is there ever to protect you. You need to just be devoted to her. Have this devotion. Understand this truth that you are this Devi yourself and you can destroy all the evil within you and outside of you as well. Take charge of your life. Get empowered. Understand your own greatness. Understand your inner, inherent nature, your true potential, and all that capabilities, that strength that you have. Those are the great weapons which you have received. It is bestowed upon you. Understand who you truly are and rise and shine. Demons, goblins, and ghosts perish at the mere reading of this. This Mahatmyam of mine, in its entirety, evokes my presence. What satisfaction I shall derive by worship day and night for full year with these aids, with animals for the offerings, flowers, costly incense, best scents, lamps, feeding the Brahmans, fire rituals, sacramental sprinkling of water, various other objects of enjoyment and gifts. The same satisfaction I shall get by reciting or listening to this once. She's saying, you can offer me all these things, but it doesn't give me as much as satisfaction as much you just read this even once. That gives me the highest satisfaction, the highest pleasure. That is what this Devi is saying. So, reading her greatness, understanding the truth about what is Devi Mahatmyam all about is important. Praising the goddess, singing her glories, lauding her is what is extremely essential. So you have to take time out in your life, give time to singing the glories and praises of these great divine beings, and that will do good to you. And also the Devi herself is pleased, and she says, where this Devi Mahatmyam is recited, where it is sung, my presence is always felt there. Hearing removes the sins. What happens to just hearing this great, the Devi Mahatmyam Parayan? What happens to that? Hearing removes the sins and grants freedom from illness. The recital of my manifestations affords protection from evil spirits. If my deeds of demolishing the wicked asuras in battles are heard, people will have no fear of the doings of their enemies. You don't have to fear anybody in this world. See, if somebody is doing bad, if somebody is doing harm, if they are incurring sins, they are evil doers existing around you, please remember, you don't have to fear. Like even Sai Baba has mentioned, why fear when I'm there? When you're on the path of dharma, no calamity shall ever befall my devotees. Is what even Lord Sri Krishna to Sai Baba to even the Devi is telling you the same thing. You don't have to fear any evil doers in this world. Please remember, when you are on the truth, The divine himself or herself is always taking care of you. They are protecting you. Like my Krishna Guruji's grace is always like a, the kavach. Kavach is the shield, the protection like a firewall around us. No calamity shall ever befall his disciples and devotees. Those who have taken refuge unto him. That is who they are, the great divine beings. Let the lords made by you, those made by the divine seers and those others made by Brahma, give auspiciousness in thought. Auspiciousness in thought, what does it mean? We always have to think good. We should not think anything bad. So she's saying, let that give you that auspiciousness in thought. In a forest, on a lone path, or surrounded by a forest fire, or encircled by robbers, or else seized by enemies in a desolate peace, or in a jungle, pursued by lion, tiger, or wild elephants, or else on the command of an irate king thrown into prison or sentenced to death, or caught in a boat tossed by winds on the high seas, or else facing the volley of arrows in an intense, terrific battle, or in the midst of all kinds of terrible troubles, or afflicted with pain. Remembering this, my Charita, a man gets out of straits. You just have to remember her. Just, remember her, and then you will get out of any kind of situation that you might be, which is going to cause you trouble. Whatever troubles that you have will all go away. Just remember this Devi. Remember her. She says, my Charita, remembering her Charita, a man gets out of straits. By my power, animals like lions, robbers, and enemies flee at a distance from one who remembers my Charita. Just you have to remember. That is why it is said that you always have to chant the name of the divine beings, divine Lord Almighty. You don't have to think about anything else. Fill your mind only with that name, the Nam. Nam Japa we say. The chanting the name of the divine being is so important for this reason, so that your mind is always purified. It is always thinking only auspicious thoughts. It doesn't have any bad thinking. So that is a sadhana you have to do. So remember to only take the name of the divine Lord. Don't dwell on objects and subjects. That is not going to give you any progress in this world. And please remember, no human being is worth remembering them, because the objects and subjects we dwell upon are about people or situations, or either you go into your past, the present, or the future. But we are not in the moment. When I say present, we are also thinking about, oh, why is this happening to me? You don't even have to think like that. Just surrender to the will of the divine Lord and just say what has to be will be, and just go with the flow. And that is the most beautiful way of your existence. You will be able to progress beautifully. The sage said, having said this, the great Chandika of fierce prowess vanished there itself, even as all the gods were gazing at her. Their enemies having been destroyed, the gods relieved of uncertainty in their minds. Imagine, what is it being said? The enemies having been destroyed, the gods relieved of uncertainty in their minds. So imagine, who is the weak people here? See, the triple worlds in our body, all the gods and goddesses exist, right? Now it is said, when I say gods, it is not the God, the almighty one. It's not the capital G-O-D. I'm talking about the small G-O-D, the deities. Now it said the gods relieved of uncertainty in their minds. These gods have uncertainty in their minds. So God also has a mind. So imagine, head to toe, why do we deter? Why do we have certain doubts? Is because of this uncertainty in the minds exists. How am I going to do something? How am I going to conquer? What is going to happen to me tomorrow? Where is the money going to come? What is going to be my life? How am I going to live? These are called uncertainties in your mind. And that is the one which causes the fear. So what did the Devi do? The Devi destroyed the enemies, and she relieved the god of the uncertainties in their minds. Likewise, have faith in this Devi. She is there to take care. See, everything is already predefined. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna tells this very nicely to Arjuna. Arjuna, the enemies already stand slain by me. You just have to lift your bow and arrow and shoot. What does that mean? The destiny has already been written. Lord Shri Krishna has already killed the enemy. See, when I say kill the enemy, doesn't mean he's physically doing anything or he has physically done something. When I say that, it simply means the destination is fixed. They're already been dead. In the sense, the destination is such that Arjuna's arrow will have to kill the, Bhishma Pitama, or it has to kill some other, Duryodhana or Dushasan. It is already written, or they have to die in a specific manner with in the hands of a particular person, which means that destiny is fixed. You doing the job is what is important. So you're not doing something which you are doing, which you think, oh, I'm the one who's going to kill, that's a sin, the way we think. No, but it is already written. The script has already been written for you. You have no choice here. Please remember, we all think we have a choice. The choice that you can exercise is that I will do. See, when you're told nicely, you need to do this, we deny, because we think we want something else. We always deny, and that denial is what costs us. And when we deny, we prolong that which is supposed to happen. But please remember, at the end of the day, you're still going to perform the same action, born of your own nature, as though mounted on a machine. But when you perform that time, you will incur sins. But if you do it now, there is no karma accruing to you. So why do you need to incur sins and then do it? Anyways, you're still going to do it. You're the one who's going to kill Bhishma Pitama. Please remember, whether you like it or not, that is anyways going to happen, because it is written. You can't change the one who writes that destiny. The will of the divine Lord is already established there. You can't even change. But why do we think that we have a choice? Because of our mind. So here she's very nicely saying, don't bother about anything. Just do what you have to. So, the point I'm trying to make here is that even gods have uncertainty in their minds. The deities are fearful. That is why they go to the gods, and say, please save us. Are they not capable of fighting? So what does that tell you? So when when the gods in the triple worlds, that is the head to toe, who live there, they need to be empowered. They need to understand this is the Devi who runs this entire triple world. So they don't have to fear anything. Understanding this truth, you have to use them to serve you in a nice manner, which means you have to use this beautiful body to serve the purpose of your existence. Understanding that this goddess is you alone, and you are there to protect the triple world, and nothing shall befall. So imagine who is creating the uncertainty in the minds. So this is what the truth is all about. So don't worry about any, enemy, Shumba, Nishumba, all these demons taking over you. They are nothing but all the negative tendencies, the negative thoughts, everything that exists within us, all the negativity that we, carry within our being. All that has to be destroyed. Only then can you attain God realization or self-realization. And most importantly, using this beautiful body, the vehicle of the divine Lord, you are here to serve the purpose of why you have taken this human form. That is why you're born as this human body. The highest purpose is to attain God realization, and the second most important purpose is to serve the purpose of the divine Lord. You're not here to serve yourself. You're here to serve his purpose. And most importantly, you have to perform selfless action. You don't do it just because you want. There is a hidden agenda for doing that action. You're not doing because of your selfish purpose. That is not required. So please serve. Serve selflessly and love unconditionally, and be a very good being on this planet Earth. While you have this body on this planet Earth, use this body to do something good, not only for yourself, most importantly, for this world around you, the people around you. That has to be the real meaning of your existence. Otherwise, it is no use. Imagine we're always running behind, wanting wealth, wanting something or the other. We have, our bucket list is like an it's not even ending. There's no ending to it. It's a never ending list, and it's an insatiable desires. So what happens to us? We are running one after the other to fulfill it continuously. Once one gets fulfilled, then you're on to the next and the next and the next. So where is the stop button? You have to become contented with everything that you have. The way how the world, the way how you have been programmed to exist in this world, become satisfied, become content. The Lord will take care. Surrender unto his lotus feet, and then you evolve on the path. That is all you have to do. And don't bother what is going to be tomorrow. The uncertainty in their minds will cause all this trouble, anxiety, disturbance, and then you'll deter in your faith. But when you have absolute faith and devotion, no calamity shall ever befall you. You will be taken care. That is what the goddess has, told about what it means to praise her, to sing her glories, to laud her, and do this parayan. Why are we doing? Not just because we're going to get some benefits. Most importantly, to understand that this Devi is me alone. There is no Devi outside of me. Till you don't get empowered and understand this truth, we will still be living like a small human being with this mind which is constantly feeling inadequate. It's telling you you are incapable, you can't do it, I don't know how to live, I don't know what I'm going to do, what does my future hold. We're always anxious about the future, and we rue about our past, and we lose this present moment in doing something which will give us a beautiful progress. That is what happens to us. Sorry for taking a long time to explain this, but you need to understand. Don't have any uncertainties in your mind. Have that absolute faith and devotion, and you will win. So their enemies having been destroyed, the gods, relieved of uncertainty in their minds, began to enjoy their shares in sacrifices and wield their authority as before. When in battle, Shumba, the enemy of the gods and the afflicter of the world, as well as the great fierce Nishumba of unparalleled prowess and high valour, were slain by the goddess, the remaining asuras entered the nether worlds. O king, thus the goddess Bhagavati, though eternal manifesting herself again and again, carries out the protection of the world. This universe is deluded by her, and it is she who gives birth to the universe. Entreated, she grants supreme knowledge, and gratified, she confers prosperity. Master of men, all this cosmos, lit Brahma's egg, is pervaded by the great goddess in the form of Mahakali and Mahamari. At one time, she is Mahamari. She, the unborn, becomes the creation at another time, and also she is the eternal, attends to the preservation of beings at the appropriate time. During the time of having, she is verily Lakshmi for men, granting growth and prosperity in the house. At the time of not having, she herself is Lakshmi and brings about ruin. Please remember, who is she? She is both Lakshmi and Lakshmi. So that is why we say we always have to praise the divine being. We have to have goodness at heart. We have to welcome them with absolute purity and truthfulness. And most important, with love. And when all these falls together, then she blesses. That is what you need to understand. Lauded and worshipped with flowers, fragrance, incense, etc., she confers wealth, offsprings, and an auspicious mind bent on dharma. What does she confers? The last one. It's very important. She confers wealth, offsprings, and most importantly, an auspicious mind bent on dharma. Which means what? That your mind is always channeled to, walk the path of dharma alone. So you're to do any action following the path of righteousness. So that is what she confers, auspicious mind. It's not a mind where you're always, like I said, we spoke about it, negativity, evil doings, all those kind of thoughts will not live with you. So you'll have a very beautiful mind, auspicious mind, which is only there to, which is going to do the dharma, bent on dharma. This is a very important word. Please remember this. With that, here ends the 12th of Devi Mahatmyam in the Markandeya Purana during the period of Savarni, the Manu. So let us continue. Chapter 13. The sage said, O king, this sublime Devi Mahatmyam has been narrated to you. Of such glory is the goddess by whom this world is upheld and sustained. Likewise, knowledge is produced by the Yoga Maya of Lord Vishnu. Likewise, knowledge is produced by the Yoga Maya of Lord Vishnu. By her, you, this Vaishya, and others of discriminating intellect are deluded. Others have been deluded before, and many others will be deluded in the future too. O great King, take refuge in her, the supreme goddess. She indeed, when worshipped, confers enjoyment, heaven, and liberation. Markandeya said, hearing his words, O great sage, Surata, the lord of men, despondent at the loss of his kingdom and his excessive sense of minus, bowed down to that sage of great paths and of severe penances and started immediately for performing tapas. The Vaishya too went with him. They repaired to the sandy banks of a river for getting the vision of the mother. He and Vaishya performed the tapas using for japa the great Devi Sukta. They both made on the bank an image of the Devi out of earth and worshipped her in the image with flowers, incense, fire ritual, and offerings of water. Without partaking food, exercising self control, with the thought of that and nothing else, and concentrated, they gave the offering dipped in the blood drawn out of their own bodies. As they were worshipping like this, exercising self control, in 3 years' time, the upholder and sustainer of the worlds, Chandika, became pleased, appeared before them, and spoke. See, how many years have they done the tapas for? 3 years. But imagine today, you need to have that kind of self control. You should be able to do that kind of sadhana. Is it even possible in your life today with the kind of the world that we are existing? Yes, it is possible if you take it to your heart that I want to attain that divinity. I want to strive hard to become pure. It's a choice that you have. It is what you want in your life at the end of the day. You can't be relaxed. You can't you can't make concessions. You'll say, okay, today I was sick, I will not be able to do. All that is not going to work here. You have to, the word is used, exercising self-control with the thought of that and nothing else and concentrated. Our mind today is so disturbed. It is always running hither, thither. We are not even able to control our mind. Where is the point of exercising self-control? Till you don't control your mind, how will you exercise self-control? It's never going to happen. So you need to make an effort. And like I said, walking this path is not such an easy thing. Yeah, it's beautiful what we have learned, but application of that knowledge is very difficult. My Guruji has written on Facebook very nicely. Bhagavad Gita, you can learn, you can read, you can understand that knowledge, you can even explain. But till you don't practice it, what sense does it make to you? Can you really become that knowledge yourself? No. Till the application of knowledge doesn't happen, this knowledge is still a bookish knowledge. Please remember, this body is just a vehicle. The words are of the divine wisdom, Anu. I am only being used to convey this meaning. But if I do not myself apply this knowledge, I will not be able to understand what Devi Mahatmyam is all about. Understanding the greatness of who this goddess is, understanding that I am this Devi will never happen because I have to live these lessons. That is what it means. Likewise in Bhagavad Gita, if you do not practice what Lord Shri Krishna is teaching, then you can ever evolve on that path of following the path of dharma. It's never going to happen. So practicing is very important. And that is why Lord Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, a very important, again, a word used, which is here as well. You be self-control. Number one. Number two is strive to practice the yoga of equanimity. He's not saying it's going to be very easy. He's saying to Arjuna, you have to strive and you have to continue to practice. And those situations will keep coming to you to see where you stand. You can't sway between the good, bad, happy, sad. No, we can't do that. So to attain that yoga of equanimity, you have to strive hard. Likewise here, she's saying exercising self-control. So this king and the Vaishya were able to do that. So will you be able to do that? That's a question you have to ask. That's a question that I ask, but answer is with you alone. Nobody else can give you that answer. You yourself will be the better judge to know what is that you want in life and what is that you're willing to do for your own will. It is not for somebody else. If I go on the path of spiritual and I work hard, it's my will first. Yes, when I get redeemed, there are people who associated with the body gets redeemed as well. And that's the greater good. Please remember, when the divine Lord does anything in the world, he's always focused on one goal alone. Everything, that action has to help everybody connected for their well-being alone. In the world of the Lord, whatever he does, if you have ever observed how the God works, they will ensure the well-being of everybody. Even by destroying these great demons, they have actually given them redemption. The goddess is very compassionate, she's benevolent, and then she's doing a good to you by telling, look, you are this goddess yourself, I am, you need to realize, and she's giving you the ways how you can attain her, and realize that I am this Devi, there is nobody outside of me. That is the truth you need to realize. But for that, you have to do your sadhana, you have to practice self discipline, self control, all that you have to do. If you can't, then spirituality is a very far off thing. Yeah, you just can be a good human being in this world, following the path of righteousness and doing your duties, born of your, born of your body, the karma that is associated with your body. That is what you will be able to do. So let us continue. As they were worshipping like this, exercising self-control, in 3 years' time, the upholder and sustainer of the worlds, Chandika, became pleased, appeared before them, and spoke. The goddess said, O king, whatever is prayed for by you, and O Vaishya, delight of your family, whatever by you too, get those all from me. I am pleased, I shall give to you. Markandeya said, then the king chose the kingdom which will not get out of his hands, even in a future life, while in this life his own kingdom captured back by strength by killing the armies of his enemies. But then the wise Vaishya, what is it told here? But then the wise Vaishya, despondent in the mind, chose the knowledge which gives release from the attachment of I-ness and minus. That is very important. When you get this, then you can achieve anything. You need to first become detached. I don't have to feel I, me, myself. That I-ness and minus has to get over. We have to become completely detached for this body, mind, senses, everybody around the world, and understand that I am not this body, I am that Paramatma myself. But first, for that, you have to release. You need to get that knowledge which will give you release from the attachment of I-ness and minus. The goddess said, O king, in a few days you are going to get back your kingdom. After killing the enemies, it will not slip from you anymore. After death, again, you will get birth from the sun god and become on earth the famous Manu Savarni. Oh, the best amongst Vaishyas, what you desired out of me, that boon I shall confer. The knowledge will bring you fulfillment. Absolutely. This is the knowledge we need to have, which will give us fulfillment. Markandeya said, thus, after giving both of them boons as they desired, the goddess immediately vanished, lauded by them with devotion. Thus, Surata, the best of the Kshatriyas, having got the boon from the goddess, will become the Manu Savarni by taking birth from the sun god. With that, we end the 13th chapter. Kleem Om. Here ends the 13th of Devi Mahatmyam in Markandeya Purana during the period of Savarni, the Manu. Thank you once again for joining the Devi Mahatmyam Parayan. It has been a most beautiful journey, having this both 9 days, the beautiful 9 days have gone in such wonderful manner that we have understood what is that we need to do in our life. Understand your own self, empower yourself, and rise and shine in this world. You have all the opportunities, God-given grace, and all the potentials. Use them to win in this world, the battle within and outside too. So with that, we finish, and let us not shut this scripture, but live this throughout until next year. So have a very happy Navratri once again. ओम श्री महागणपते नमः। ओम श्री गुरुदेव दत्त। ओम श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। दिगंबरा दिगंबरा श्रीपाद वल्लभ दिगंबरा। ओम श्री कृष्ण गुरुनाथ नाथाय श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम देवी दुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री कृष्णार्पणम नमस्तु। कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुम्।